anybody that's watching me, I know for a fact is someone that is here to change the world, right? Because that's what we're doing. That's the name of this game, right? This is the vibe. And so how we can do that with our kids, right, is when you feel misalignment and you feel frustration, one of the first things that you can do, because this is what we teach and we want to teach our children to do, right? But we're not doing it ourselves. So the first thing that you can do is speak your emotion out loud. And half the time, that neutralizes it 50% for every single person that's dealing with your misalignment, okay? So for example, last night, right, it was chasing the clock like I'm always doing, trying to get my kids in bed on time, and we weren't in bed on time, and everything just wasn't happening, and the kids just weren't going. They weren't, I'd be like, okay, let's get undressed, let's get our pajamas on, and then 5 minutes later, they're still not independently doing it because they're, children, right? And I'm trying to get in that phase of letting them do things on their own and not just being undressing them myself, right? Because they're getting to that age where they need to start doing it themselves. So I can't be that as hands-on as I used to. And so I got frustrated because it was getting super late. I hate racing the clock anyways. And then I know that the later they go to bed, the later I get to my bedtime rituals, and so I raised my voice. And I was like, why aren't you doing this? I've asked you 10 times, right? And of course, they had feelings about it, right? They don't like it when I raise my voice or yell. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to say that you're damned if you ever yell at your kids. No, right? We're all human. But it's not a behavior that you want to say is okay, right? You want to remember in your mind, when I yell at my kids, it's actually not okay that I'm doing that, no matter what the circumstances is, because yelling at someone, right, is abusive, okay? But we do it all the time, so we normalize it, and so we think that it's okay, right, when it's actually not the direction that we want to be going. If you really stop to think about it in a level-headed mind of, and you think, do I want to be yelling at anyone in my life? No, right? We don't want to be spewing that anger out to anyone, okay? Next, and not to say it's not effective sometimes, right? It is effective, and people get their way with yelling sometimes. So that's why in society we think it works and that we think it's okay, but it's not. Okay. And so I don't want to be having that dynamic with my children at any time, but it happens, right? Here or there, not all the time, but it happens. And so when I'm in the moment and after that happened, when I was like, what are you doing? You didn't listen the 10 times that I asked you, right? Why are you not getting dressed? It's making bedtime really, really late. And after I said that and yelled that at them, then my next response, now I know my MO is to always speak out loud my emotion. So I said, Mommy's frustrated. I'm really frustrated because we're supposed to be in bed already 45 minutes ago, and everything keeps delaying us. And the later that we get in bed, the later that Mommy gets in bed. And Mommy was really tired today because yesterday we didn't get into bed till late. So not that they're going to be able to especially depending on the age of the child, not they're going to be able to fully understand all the reasons why, and you don't need to list all the reasons why, right? But being able to say the emotion and be able to kind of give them a rationality of it, not that they'll be able to understand it fully if they're super young, but being able to do that models that for them, right? And I don't want you to think that you're rationalizing it to excuse your behavior. Remind them, be like, I don't want to yell. It's not okay for Mommy to yell, and I'm sorry. So then I explain the emotion that I'm in. I kind of give them the rationality of it, but then I also apologize. And apologizing is really, really huge, especially to little kids, because it reminds them, right, that's not something that is supposed to go happen, right, that they're not supposed to be yelled at, okay, that you want their forgiveness, and then remind them that you're working on it. Sorry, Mommy is frustrated. I am just really tired because we didn't get in bed on time, and now I'm worried that we're not going to get to bed on time, and Mommy's been tired because of that, then it makes Mommy not be able to go to bed on time. But I'm sorry, I don't want to be yelling. right? I don't want to do that to our family, and that's not how I want to communicate with you, and I'm sorry. And are you doing okay? How are you feeling? So then I like check in on their emotions, and then I usually ask them what they need, right? Like, and last night my son said that he was sad, right? He was sad because I yelled at him, and then I ask him, what do you need? And then he just puts his arms out and he just needs a hug, right? And so that's the thing, is like, kids might not all the time be able to verbalize what they need, but just the mere fact of you asking and like giving them that space, and being there to support them and trying to figure that out with them is really huge. It's something that the generation before us didn't do. And if you can take the time to do that, it changes things. And I'm going to say that, like I said, I didn't know what I was doing in the very beginning. And I just started with speaking the emotion that I was in. When I was frustrated, I'd be like, I'm frustrated. Like, and I'd be yelling at sometimes like, I'm frustrated, right? But speaking that out, being able to always apologize, making sure to check in with them on what they need, right? And not just dismissing them because you're having a moment. Obviously, try to calm yourself down, right? But I think like really speaking out the emotion for me cuts it down like 50 to 75%, like cuts out the frustration, because then I've said it out loud, right? That I'm frustrated. And then it lets them know that I'm human too, and I make mistakes, right? Being vulnerable, like admitting your mistakes, that's important to kids, to let them know that it's okay when they make mistakes, but we just got to try to get better every time and try to improve. And so like I said, I'm no parenting guru, but I've found that this is working. It's going in the right direction, little by little. Okay, I hope that helps. Don't forget, take care and love yourself. Bye.